wherever you are watching this video from. I want you to watch this video, though it is going to be in like 3 episodes if you are watching it on Facebook. But if you watch it through my YouTube channel, it is going to be a single video because of the length. So that is why I am going to divide it into episodes, different episodes on Facebook. But on YouTube, it is going to be a single stretch video. So you can choose to watch it either on Facebook or watch it at once on YouTube. Today, it is very necessary wherever you are watching it from to actually identify the kind of standard used in your country for both your plugs and your sockets. If you are traveling to any part of the world, it is very compulsory for you to take your phone and make a search through any of your search engines, like your Google search. Try and find out the type of standard for the sockets and plugs used in the country of your destination before you embark on such a journey. It has happened to me sometimes in 2021 when I traveled to one country in Europe, Germany specifically. When I traveled there with my phone charger, only to discover on arrival that the type of socket they use over there does not comply with the standard of the plug I brought from my home country, Nigeria. So throughout that day and even the following day, my phone was left off. So if you don't want to fall in victim of this kind of mess, try and find out before you travel what standard of sockets do they use in the country you are traveling to. This is very necessary. That you live in Ghana does not mean if you travel to any other country, they use the same standard of electrical appliances in the country you actually visit. So it depends on the standard, which means our electrical accessories and appliances, they are designed according to local standard and international standard. The body that regulates the international standard for electrical are International Electrotechnical Commission. So they have standard specified for equipment that will be designed, electrical equipment that will be designed for different countries. And also there are local standard bodies. If you live in Nigeria, the local standard body we have there is Standard Organization of Nigeria. So they are in charge of specifications for the standard for electrical materials and all other goods and on all other products shipped to Nigeria. If you are bringing any device, any equipment to Nigeria, it has to pass through them to certify it that such an equipment is in line with the specified standard in Nigeria. And that is why most people, when they travel abroad, they try to bring back to their own country some of the appliances they bought while abroad. And when they get home, such an appliance become useless simply because the standard and configuration or specifications of those equipments, they are not in line with the standard that exists in Nigeria or in their country. So it is very necessary. If you don't want to appear like a moron, you don't want to appear like a confused individual. If you are traveling to anywhere, try and confirm what standard do they use in that country, and that will determine the type of their socket and the plug. So there are different types of standards based on International Electrotechnical Commission standards and also different local standard bodies. So I'm going to mention them one after the other. So I am going to at times categorize them based on the region where these particular standards are common. So standard number 1, type A and B standard. Type A and B standard for sockets and plugs are very common in North American countries, such as United States of America, such as Canada, Mexico, Japan, and so on. So if you are going to this region, prepare your mind that the type of socket standard used in those countries, that is in the North American countries, they are either type A or type B standard of sockets and plugs. So before you go there, try and find out this. How does a type A standard look like? And how does a type B standard look like for both sockets and the plugs? So this is very necessary if you don't want to commit a blunder. So let us take them one after the other. Type A standard, socket, and plug. A type A socket and plug standard, anytime you see it, it has 2 flat parallel pins standing side by side like this, and it is ungrounded. Ungrounded means it does not carry any pin for earth or for grounding. So when you see a type of plug or socket that has hole or that has pin that are parallel for flat plates without any provision for heads, it is called type A standard for socket and plug. And they are the one you are seeing on your screen. So anytime you see this, they are type A, they are type A standard of socket and plug. And you can find this type of plug and socket in North American countries like United States of America, Japan, Canada, Mexico, and so on. So you can also see type B standard, which I actually explained that it is very similar to type A. And the difference between type A and type B is that type B standard type of socket and plug, they have the same flat plate, and this one now has the third pin, which is round for earthing or grounding. So the one that carry two flat plates without third pin for grounding is type A. And the one that carries two flat plates that are parallel with third round pin for grounding is type B. So both type A and type B, they work with operation voltage between 100 and 127 volts. And they also work with 60 hertz system frequency. So if you are using an appliance that carry this type of plug, don't take it to other region and connect it directly to their power supply. Number one, such a plug will not even comply with the standard of plug they have in their country. And if you find your way and bypass the standard, probably you connect wires directly to the pin and insert it into the socket, it is going to damage the appliance because the type A and type B work with only operation voltage of 100 to 127 volts and system frequency of 60 hertz. So this is very necessary. Anytime you go to countries like this in North America, try and look out for this standard before you connect your appliances to their sockets. Otherwise, you may have problem. So when you go to countries like this, you need to get their own charger that will be in compliance to their own system voltage and frequency before you can and you make use of their electrical power supply outlet. So let us quickly talk about type G. Type G standard plug or sockets. They are type of plug and sockets that are commonly found in regions like UK, Ireland, Cyprus, Singapore, and in most of the African countries. In most of the African countries. So if you are watching this video from any of the African countries or from Ireland, from United Kingdom, from Cyprus, from Singapore, and so on, try to find out what standard does your own type of plugs and socket fall into. Is it into type A, type B, or type G? I want you to put it in the comment section. So type G is a type of plug or socket that always come with 3 pins. And those 3 pins, they are rectangular in shapes. They are rectangular in shapes, but they are arranged in a triangular form. The pins are rectangular, but arranged in triangular form. So the first 2 pins, which are arranged at the bottom of the triangle, they are for the live and neutral, while the third pin, usually longer than the other 2 pins, they are for the earth or grounding. So anytime you see this type of standard, they are called type G standard of sockets and plugs. So in your country, try to find out, does type G comply with the standard of socket and plug you use in your country? So you want to answer me? Put it in the comment section. What standard does your own socket and plug in your country fall into? Most of the type G sockets and plug standard usually come with plugs that are provided with fields to protect the appliance. And not only that, this type of socket and plug operates with the voltage of 220 to 240 volts. And they also come with 220 to 240 volts and with 50x frequency. So that is the specification for such a socket or plug standard. So what category does your own country fall? Is it into category A, category B, or category G? So I'm going to see you in the next type. The next category of socket and plug standard is the category C, E, and F. C, E, and F, which means we have standard C, and we have standard E, and we have standard F. This standard E, C, and F, they operate with the system specification of 220 to 240 volts and with 50x frequency. And when you see this particular category, let's take them one by one. The standard C. The standard C plug and socket, they are the one that has two round holes, like the one you are seeing on your screen. They have two round holes, and the plugs are usually ungrounded, no earth pin in the socket in the plug. So when you see it, that is type C. Type C standard of socket and plug. So when you see the socket has two holes, and the plug also has two pins, which are round, and that is type C. Let us look at type F. Type F plug and socket standard. They are the one that usually come with two pin, but additionally, there are two clips by the side of the pin, which provide continuity for earthing. That is the type F. That is type F. So type F has two pins, just like your type C, but it has an additional feature, that is, there are two clips by the side that is used to provide earth continuity in the plug for the appliance or the appliances you are connecting to it. So we call it type F plug and socket. So another very similar one is type E. The type E plug and socket is very similar to type F, but the only difference is that the plug and socket have two pins or two holes with additional hole and pin that is round, that provides earth continuity, that is for grounding. So they have the third pin that protrude from the plug, which enables grounding for such a plug. So type C, type F, and type E, they are category of socket and plug standard, which are usually found in some countries like Europe, Asia, and in some other regions. So when you are traveling to either Europe, Asia, or some regions, try and look for plugs with type C, type E, or type F. Before you travel, search the name of the country and look out for the type of standard they use. If you are not traveling with the charger that has this standard, try and buy the adapter that will enable you to convert their own standard to the standard that is available in your own plug. There are adapters that you can connect that will give you the type of any type of standard you have on your plug. So this is very necessary if you don't want to fall in victim of what happened to me that I narrated earlier. I traveled, and for 2 days my phone was left off because my charger could not fit into their socket due to the difference in standard. In Nigeria, we have our standard, and in the country where I travel to, they also have their own standard. So difference in standard is going to actually punish you for days. You may not be able to charge your phone. Your appliances that are with you, electrical gadgets, may not work because the kind of standard you are bringing does not fit into their own system of standard. So you need to find out this before you embark on that journey. The next one is type I standard of socket and plug. If you are fortunate to travel to countries like China, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, the type of standard of sockets and plugs they use over there is type I. This type I, it has two versions. That's what I mean. It has two versions. The first version is the version that is common to China, New Zealand. So this version, you are going to see three pins. Those three pins, they are flat plates and they are inverted to form V. That is, you will see it is the one you are seeing on your screen. The first two pins, they are for the live and neutral, and the third pin is for the grounding, the earth, and they are arranged to form V, inverted V shape. So anytime you are going to this country, make sure you go with this standard. Otherwise, you may not be able to make use of their sockets and plugs. Try and get adapter that will be able to convert standard high of their socket and plugs to your multiple socket outlets, which can enable you to make use of the power supply. And the standard voltage they use with type I standard is 220 to 240 volts with 50x. In India, they use type G standard of socket and plug. And when you look at their plugs, it carries three round big pins, not small pins, three large round pins that are arranged to form a triangular pattern. So when you see this type of plug, like the one you are seeing on your screen, They are the standard used in India. So if you are traveling to India, try and get an adapter that will be able to convert this type D to the multiple standard that will enable you to make use of your own plug brought from your home country. And the standard of voltage used in this country is also 240 volts and with a frequency of 50 Hz. In Israel, they use type H standard of sockets, which is the one you are seeing on your screen. If you want to connect to their sockets or connect the plug in Israel, that socket and plug has to comply with standard H of plug and socket. Otherwise, it won't work in India. And their own operating voltage is also 220 to 240 volts with frequency 50 Hz. Standard H also comprises of three small pins with the third pin being for grounding. And the pins are arranged to form a triangular pattern, just like type D used in India. The only difference is that the India type, which is type D, comprises of three large pins, three large round pins that are arranged to form a triangular pattern. Whereas for the Israel, it is type H, and the pins are three small round pins arranged also to form a triangular pattern. So when you are traveling to any of these countries, if it is Israel, it's type H, and if it is India, it is type D. Make sure you get an adapter that will enable you connect to these sockets and plugs. Otherwise, you are on your own. Switzerland also has our own standard, and our own standard of sockets and plug is standard J. And this standard J comprises of three pins, three small round pins that are arranged in a straight line, which is the one you are seeing on your screen. So when you travel or you want to connect your appliances in this country, Switzerland, or in some other countries, it's not only in Switzerland you are going to see this, but I only make Switzerland as a reference or as an example, a typical example. So a type J standard comprises of three round pins that are arranged in a straight line, just like the one you are seeing on your screen. That is type H. So in summary, it is very necessary to learn on all these standards. If you cannot memorize them, try and search for them. If you want to travel to any one of these countries, make sure you find out the type of standard they use so that it will enable you to get the adapter right from your home country, that immediately you get there, you can easily connect to their sockets and make use of their power supply. Otherwise, you are going to be on your own. Your phones and your power bank, as well as your laptop, might be switched off for days before you could find a solution. So that is the reason why I made this video, to help you learn different standards of electrical accessories, that is the socket and plug that we have in various parts of the world. So if you are watching from Nigeria or Ghana, tell us what standard is your own electrical sockets and plugs. Is it type A? Is it type B? Is it type G? Is it type J? Is it type I? Or which type is your own standard of socket and plug? I'm going to see you in the next one. I'm your one and only Engineer Oxford. Bye.